Welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited Perspectives. I'm your host, Bruce Anthony, here to lead the conversation in important events and topics that are shaping today's society. Join the conversation and follow us wherever you get your audio podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch our video podcast. Rate, review, like, comment, share. Share with your friends, share with your family, hell, even share with your enemies. On today's episode, this is Sibling Happy Hour. I'm here with my sis, Aundrea. We're going to be talking about the lies on the internet. Then we're going to be talking about the VP debate. And then we're going to be talking about music through the generations. But that's enough of the intro. Let's get to the show. What up, sis?
What up, brother?
I can't call it. I can call one thing.
What's that?
Before we get to lies on the internet,
Okay.
I'm going to get to another reason why I hate getting older.
Go ahead.
Nose hair. I don't know where. I don't know why when you get older, nose hair grows at a rapid, furious pace, but it does. And I feel like I'm cutting my nose hair more than I'm shaving my face.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have that problem. I think that's like specifically a male problem. I know I've seen a lot of old men with the nose hairs and the hair growing out their ears and stuff. I mean, and the eyebrows go crazy. Like, you just gonna have to look forward to that. I mean, there's really nothing.
Why would I want to look forward to that?
You get the nose hair trimmer.
I got it. And it don't be trimming as good as I wanted to. Now, I know you need nose hair. You have to have nose hair.
Right.
I
It's a
just
nose
don't
hair
want-
trimmer, not a nose hair eradicator. So,
Right.
yes.
But I feel like it hangs out of my nose way too often, and I have to cut, especially the corner insides of my nose. It's not really
Not
the outside.
corner inside.
The corner insides of my nose.
Okay. First of all, how much did you pay for the nose hair trimmer? Because knowing you did not get the best one out there.
Hold on. What the hell is that supposed to mean?
You like to be frugal.
On certain things.
At times where you shouldn't be frugal. Where you should go ahead and spend the money.
I think it came in a set with a mustache trimmer, which, by the way, I've completely lost since coming from Atlanta. It's either in your house downstairs in the basement, in the Airbnb, or somebody stole it at the airport. Somebody went in to my luggage, unzipped the top part of my luggage, went into my shoe, dug past the socks, tucked into the shoe and my underwear to get to it.
You didn't pack it. You didn't pack it. It's here. It's probably here. You didn't pack it. Nobody did all of that for a mustache trimmer.
They might have, because it was a really good mustache trimmer.
Well, the nose hair trimmer isn't, so I don't know how good the mustache trimmer is.
I spent bread on the mustache trimmer, but the nose hair trimmer came with, it was a set. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I hear it go clang, clang. It's like it's cutting. It's cutting.
You might have to go in there with some little scissors.
Oh man, that's when I know I'm gonna cut my nose, and I'll be bleeding from my nose.
You're not gonna not kitchen scissors. Okay, it's like some little trim little scissors, and then you take your time, get real close to the mirror, lift your nose up, lift the tip of your nose up, get in there, or just let it come out the inside right corner or whatever the hell you just did. Those are your options.
Well, I can't have that because I'm still trying to stay cute. But
I got a bone to pick with age also.
Okay, what's your bone to pick with age?
So yesterday I went to a birthday party of a close friend of mine.
Shout out
to him. He doesn't really celebrate often, so of course we had to be there. So I thought, since he doesn't celebrate often, I have a Polaroid camera. I said, what I would do is take photos and put them in a little album for him and give him that as his birthday gift, like a keepsake.
Right.
So that's what I'm doing the whole night, taking Polaroids, asking people, okay, if I take your pictures for his birthday. The number of people, after I took the Polaroid, and the Polaroid comes out the front of the camera, I hear it.
Right.
That asked me for a copy.
They don't know how Polaroids work.
There's no copy.
You can make copies.
You can take a picture of it on your phone.
No, you can go. I think oh, wait a minute. They don't have.
No, I mean, they were asking for a copy in the moment.
Yeah, no, you can't.
And
do
I'm
that.
like, when it develops in 15 minutes, you could take a picture on your phone. But that's the best. I don't know. This is completely analog, y'all. There's only one copy. It's a Polaroid.
Right.
But the number of people, oh, can I get a copy of that? No. And by the end of the night, I was just like, what is wrong with y'all?
They're stupid.
Am I just old?
Well, there's that. And there's just stupid.
And they was like, it's a Polaroid camera. That's a real camera, like Polaroid. I'm like, yeah, you don't see. Look at it. Does it look like a normal camera to you? Yes.
Oh,
What did you think? I just had a camera, but it just looked like a Polaroid? No, the picture comes out. Oh, can I get how much for a copy? There's how much? I'm not the photographer for the night. I'm doing this as a gift. You know what? By the end of the night, I got him his album and I gave it to him, and he was very happy with it. So
that's the most important thing.
But boy,
can I get a copy?
Can I get a copy? I don't know what to tell you. Or people, I would say, this is my birthday gift to him. It's okay if I take a picture. Yeah, can I? Or I would take can I have that? No. It's his birthday gift.
Yeah.
I don't care about you. This is his gift. If you want a picture with you and whoever I took the picture with, use your phone.
Right.
You have a camera.
You got a camera
right
on your phone.
There on your phone. No, you cannot have it. No, you cannot get a copy. That's kind of the point, is that he has these memories and they're just his.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's because I'm old. I don't know if it's because I'm old.
Yeah.
That I understand how a Polaroid camera works. But it was quite frustrating. But anyway, it was a great night. I had so much fun celebrating him, and it was a huge turnout. Great night. He really did his thing with planning that. So
okay, that's dope. Well, speaking of people that just ask dumb questions or just are stupid, let's get to the first topic: lies on the internet.
Which that's a broad topic. We're talking about specifically.
I'm gonna get to it.
Okay,
I'm gonna get to it
because that's a broad topic.
That is a broad topic, but specifically, there's been a surge of misinformation circulating on the social media regarding FEMA and the relief efforts in North Carolina following the tropical storm Helene. Yeah,
Helen. It's Helene, I think.
It's Helene. Okay. Here are some key false claims and facts to counter them. Claim: FEMA is confiscating supplies and resources in North Carolina. Here's the fact. FEMA has issued a statement clarifying that the claims are entirely false. They are not confiscating or taking any commodities, supplies, or resources.
Literally the opposite of what they do.
Right.
They give supplies and resources.
Right.
They don't confiscate them. That doesn't even make sense.
Okay. Claim number 2. The federal government is seizing land in Chimney Rock. Here's the fact. There is no evidence to support this claim. Local government officials and FEMA have both confirmed that no such meetings or discussions have taken place. Here's what's crazy. You got local state Republicans saying, this is crazy. Yeah. None of this is happening. We're just trying to help people.
Yeah.
All right. Here's one that your homegirl jumped into.
That's the thing Black people hate the most. When they be like, ain't that your friend over there? That's your homegirl? And you know it ain't. You know it ain't. But go ahead.
I'm going to jump a little bit because I want to get to this. But this is what your homegirl did. There's a claim that the government created the hurricane. Here's the fact. This is a baseless conspiracy theory with no scientific backing. Government agencies have urged the public to rely on information from trusted sources. But where are people getting this information? Marjorie Taylor Greene, your bestie, posted a map on Twitter showing the areas in which the hurricane hit, along with an overlay of the electoral map. She did post it on Twitter, and I quote, this is exactly what she said.
Yeah, I know. I saw it.
Yes, they can control the weather. It's ridiculous for anyone to lie and say that it can't be done.
So here's the thing about this statement. Did the government create the hurricane? Kind of. And I'll tell you why I say kind of.
Okay.
It is because we have not devoted ourselves to fighting climate change in a way that, like globally, we have not done a good enough job in combating climate change. So yes, this is the responsibility of really global,
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
First world nations. But is there if for anybody who ever watched Phineas and Ferb, an innator, like a weather innator it's a big machine that somebody has in a lab at the top of a castle on a dark mountain that shoots a beam into the clouds and creates a hurricane? I think that's what Marjorie Taylor Greene thinks.
Well,
that there's some Gargamel type character.
that
perhaps a Mum-Ra or some
not Mum-Ra, not Mum-Ra the ever living.
Claw, or perhaps somebody of that nature.
Okay, time out. Now you really showing your age, because all of these villains is
Are
from
all
the
80s villains. Yes,
all of them.
I don't know any current villains.
What's the one from Minions?
Oh, Gru.
Yeah.
Some sort of Gru type
that's more
character with a bunch of little yellow people
Those were
that
the
help
Minions.
him out. The Minions. Does she? I think she does. I think she thinks that somewhere in a bunker there is a machine and two people have to turn keys at the same time and hit the button and they can create a hurricane. That's the dumbest thing that I've ever heard, and she's the dumbest person that I've ever come across. Actually, no. Laura Loomer is worse. Because if you get called out by Marjorie Taylor Greene, then that's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Pretty bad. Actually, Lauren Boebert embarrasses herself on a regular basis. You know what? It might be a three-way tie. I don't know. But I truly believe, yes.
You're being sexist. You're being sexist. You're only attacking women.
That's not being sexist. They literally are the Three Stooges.
No, you said the three dumbest people and you're only mentioning women. You didn't mention the biggest dummy.
Who, Trump?
Yes.
No, he's literally unintelligent. Like, if there's a word past dumb, that would be that. Yeah.
I always have a hard time saying this word, Neanderthal.
Yeah.
Okay.
You said it perfectly.
Did I?
Yeah, you
I'm
did.
so excited about myself. I said that word right.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me get to some other claims. Here's
Okay.
another claim. The government is not responding to the disaster.
Lies.
Okay. Here's the fact. The North Carolina State Emergency Response Team, along with local, state, federal, and military units, are actively working around the clock to provide relief and save lives.
Yeah. FEMA has been on the ground from the beginning. You have governors in Virginia, South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia. All of them praise FEMA's quick response. So
and the Biden administration as well.
And
begrudgingly, they were like, Biden.
No, not begrudgingly. I saw the press conferences. They were like, hey, we spoke with Biden. We missed his call. All of them missed the call and had to call back.
Well,
I noticed that.
Well, they're dealing with something. They're dealing with something.
I get it.
But I say begrudgingly because, they don't want to give him no credit, but they got to give him the credit because his response has been on point.
Yeah, he called everybody and said, what do you need?
Mm-hmm.
And then let me know if you need any additional resources. And so the response for FEMA has been swift. That's kind of their job to show up times of crisis. Mm-hmm. And they've been there.
They've been there.
Offering relief from the beginning. But okay.
Last claim that I'm going to throw out there. Once again, these are all lies that are being spread on social media. that's gaining traction, that people from all news outlets and once again, local state Republicans are having to shoot down, right? Here's the claim. Donations and volunteers are being turned away at checkpoints. Here's the fact. While some roads are dangerous and impassable, traffic is being rerouted to ensure that emergency vehicles and relief efforts can still access the affected areas. In other words, there's some rough areas out there, but people, it's getting to you. They're not being turned away at checkpoints, and donations are not being turned away. Volunteers are welcome. What the hell these? And I've been on the internet. Of course, I've been on the internet.
Yes.
And I really wish people were more, what's the word I'm looking for? More
discerning.
Yes, discerning with where they're getting the information, and click on the profile of the Twitter or the Instagram or the TikTok and read what it is. If they don't have a profile pic, 9 times out of 10, it's a bot. It's not a real person.
Or hey, why not get your news from somebody you don't even know who they are?
Well, so Twitter has always been good because there are people that are there experiencing this that can give firsthand accounts, right?
Yeah.
So, but those people that are there, they're experiencing this, they're shooting down the lies, and then they're being bombarded with, that's not true. And they're like, I'm right here. The area which you're talking about, I'm here. This is what's happening. Well, that's not true. So-and-so said this. And they're being bombarded by trolls and bots.
And you want to know why that's fair? Because another person who said that Haitian migrants stole her cat and possibly to eat it. And they also have a on the ground account, right? So, hey, follow news organizations, follow journalists. There are plenty of journalists and news organizations that are also there on the ground doing accurate reporting. If you want to know, has Biden reached out to Governor Kemp? Well, there's a video of Governor Kemp saying, I've spoken to President Biden and he offered assistance. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to find the actual video of people saying things. So when you got mainly Trump, but a lot of other people making these false claims about the FEMA response, what they're trying to do is to divert attention away from the actual great response that the federal government has had to this crisis, because they know that who is that going to help? Democrats, right? If it shows that Biden is leading, he's being commander in chief, and he's reaching out and he's offering resources, and FEMA's there, even though Republicans voted to cut funding to FEMA. FEMA is still there on the ground, even with reduced resources. They know that unless they push false narratives about the response, it is going to hurt them in less than 30 days.
Yeah. It's funny that you bring up the lie about Haitian migrants in Springfield, because there have been false claims circulating that FEMA's disaster relief funds are being diverted to support migrants instead of aiding North Carolina's recovery efforts after the hurricane. Here are the facts. There's dedicated disaster relief funds. FEMA's disaster relief funds are specifically, having a tough time today. Good God.
Listen, FEMA's disaster relief funds are specifically allocated for disaster response and recovery. These funds cannot be used for other purposes.
Jesus, it's hey, speech impediment, ladies and gentlemen.
Listen. And it's also a thing of sometimes your mind is moving faster than your mouth and you get caught up. That happens to me.
That happens to me all the time, and then I get mumble mouth. All right, false claims by public figures. Some public figures, including former President Donald Trump, have falsely claimed that FEMA's disaster relief money is being redirected to support migrants. These claims have been debunked by FEMA and other reliable sources. So, look,
this is their go-to.
Yes.
To throw migrants and immigrants under the bus, because they need scapegoat. They need somebody for their base's ire to focus on,
They want to
right?
sow white fear
Yes.
to affect the election. Talk about election interference.
Mm-hmm.
This is it at its highest order, consistently lying to stroke fear in order to get people to vote for them. Now, Republicans will say, well, Democrats do the same thing. And I'll say, okay, kinda. There is a portion of the Democratic Party that is sowing fear in a Trump reelection and Project
Yes.
2025. So,
Yeah.
okay, but it's not lies. When they say he has a dictator attitude, he himself has said, at least on the first day, that he's going to be a dictator. So it's not lies. It's just giving you the facts. He's lying to sow white fear. But let's be clear, ladies and gentlemen. Where can you go to get accurate information on everything that's going on? Well, there's the Federal Emergency Management Agency, which is FEMA. That's what FEMA stands for. Their official website, which gives up-to-date information on disaster response and recovery efforts. There's a National Weather Service, which offers real-time weather updates, forecasts, and warnings. There's a CDC. Now, I know if you're a Trumper or a Republican, you don't think the CDC is effective. No, they are. They're the one who provides health and safety guidelines during a disaster. There's the American Red Cross. The Red Cross offers resources for disaster preparedness and recovery. There's local government websites that you could check. There's reputable news organizations like CNN, BBC, the New York Times. I mean, I'm going to include Fox, ABC News, CBS News, and MSNBC. Reputable sources, not that egg that's on Twitter. I don't think they do eggs on Twitter anymore, but y'all get what I meant. And if you're going to use social media, check the social media account of the official agencies, because they'll give you information. They'll give you real, accurate information that you can follow. And that's honest and true, and not something from this person on Twitter who you don't even know. I don't understand how people will take the word of a complete stranger over sources that they know. But then again, that kind of makes sense, because when somebody gives you advice, you don't want to listen. But let a stranger tell you the same thing, then all of a sudden you're like, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And also, you brought up Democrats sowing fear, talking about Project 2025. But that's, of course, like you said, that's a real thing.
It's right there.
Okay. Project 2025 devotes 2 pages in its 922-page document to FEMA. Other sections also suggest shrinking or dismantling the National Weather Service.
Yeah.
So not only would there be less funding for hurricane or any kind of national disaster, not only would there be less funding and less assistance to victims, but they won't even know in a timely fashion that something is coming. You should be worried about this.
Well, yeah, they will know, because Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to tell them, because the government controls the weather.
Because she thinks Frankenstein is somewhere in a tower with lightning going off and spinning things and pulling levers to create hurricanes. That's what she thinks.
Or she watched the Flash episode and knows the weather wizard controls the weather.
Have y'all heard of the weather wizard? Like that? Okay, Marjorie.
Well, I mean, Trump talked about Hannibal Lecter, so she could talk about the weather wizard.
Boy, and he would not stop talking about Hannibal Lecter.
No, and they said it was a great man.
Strange. He was literally a cannibal, a murderer. He was,
there's nothing good about him. I don't.
And he, it was a real roundabout way that he helped Clarice even catch Buffalo. Like, he could have been more straightforward with some of her, questions, his answers to her questions. But okay, fine.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Sure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for, well, I was going to say that's it for the lies of the internet, but that's not, because we're going to talk about the vice presidential debate next. So, Jay, last Tuesday, you texted me And he said, "Are you watching this vice presidential debate?" And I said, "Hell no, I'm not watching it. Look, it's late at night.
Right.
And I'm not going to have my blood pressure through the roof right before I go to bed. No, I will catch the highlights and read
Yeah.
the news coverage of it, but I'm not going to watch this."
And I said, "You're absolutely right." And I
Right.
didn't either. I did exactly what you said. I watched them highlights.
Right. And the reason why, another reason why I didn't watch it is because there's nothing either one of them are going to say that's going to change my mind about who I'm voting for. Like,
Right.
it's for undecided voters, which, by the
Listen.
way, if you're undecided, I really don't know
What
what to
the
tell
hell?
you. Yeah, I really don't know what to tell you with
That
your
was
life in general.
What the hell? Have you just not prepared? The candidates couldn't be more different, couldn't be more divergent. So literally on opposite sides of the spectrum. So if you don't know who to vote for at this point, with less than 30 days, what?
All right, so I will sort of defend. You know me, I always got to try and find some silver lining or something. Some people legitimately just check out on politics because they don't want to
Yeah.
bother with it. Kind of like I checked out on not watching this debate. They're like, "Look, my life is stressful enough. I
Yeah.
don't care." I mean, that's stupid because this affects your life, but I get it.
Stop volunteering to be on these polls and panels and everything there. Stop doing that. If you know that you've checked out, you're not even paying attention. Stop offering to be on CNN or some panel where you're sitting there and you looking stupid because you don't even know the platform of either candidate, which is a cursing. All of them have a website with their platform on it. I mean, I figure Trump's, when you log on, it says 404 error. No, page not found. I
No,
don't know.
I'm sure.
You don't have no platform.
No, I'm sure the Republican National Committee has created a website where his policies of they're eating the dogs and they're eating the cats
Right.
is on there. Okay.
Right.
So a couple of things that I did pick up while watching some of the highlights is Vance comes off, and I've talked to Republicans about this, and they were like, "I kind of wish that he was running," even though I actually think he's more dangerous than Trump is.
Very much more. Yes.
But he comes off with a softer approach and more presentable. And hate doesn't, I can see the hate coming from his body. But if a person is aligned with the Republican Party, they don't really see the hate that stems from that face. Maybe it's being blocked by the eyeliner. I don't know, but they don't see it. And Walz, in the beginning, appeared a little uneasy, but as he got going, he started getting more and more confident. You know, he's an old football coach, so he was running the ball at first, starting his ground game. And then as his ground game started to pick up, he started to open up the playbook a little bit.
Honestly, if in a VP debate, I shake hands, say, I have a good debate, I go stand at my podium, and they say, "All right, Governor Walz, first question is for you. How would you solve Israel?"
Yes.
Okay, I too would be like, "What? Well?" Good. Okay. You go open with that? Cool. Like, I get that.
Yes, I do get it. And he got going. But like I said, they were contrasting styles. It was pretty evident. My favorite thing was I thought we weren't fact checking. So during the vice president debate, J.D. Vance pushed back against CBS monitors when they attempted to fact check his statements.
Not attempted, they did it.
Yeah, they did, particularly about immigration, more specifically the Haitian migrants in Springfield.
The legal status.
Vance reminded them that according to the rules, the candidates were supposed to fact check each other, not rely on moderators for corrections. This caused a little bit of tension, especially when Vance's microphone was briefly cut off as he was arguing with the moderators over the role of real-time fact checking.
Yeah.
So, wait a minute, hold up.
Yeah.
Hold on now. When you in an argument, debate with somebody, okay, and you start lying, and you get called out on that lie,
Right.
You can't then say, I thought we weren't calling out lies.
Apparently you can. He did, and he got his mic cut for it.
This man literally said, I thought, hey, you're not supposed to be fact checking. I'm supposed to be able to say what I want to say.
Hey, wait a minute now.
If he want to fact check me, if he want to fact check me, he can fact check me. But all I'm going to do is when he tries to fact check me is talk over him and just say that he's lying.
Right.
He wanted barbershop room debate. And barbershop room debate is, there is no rules. You can say whatever you want to say. It could be lies. It could be truth. You can attack the person when you don't have nothing intelligent to say or anything that has any backing. You can just make up stuff. He won barbershop debate rules.
Yes. I agree with you. He was described, Vance was described as slick, you know. And I feel like that's that
slimy
Yale educated, that Yale education.
He was polished. Educated. Yeah, he is educated.
He was polished as far as his delivery, but on substance, Walz won because a lot of the time Vance didn't actually answer the question. The
one question that he did slip was they asked him, do you think Donald Trump won the 2020 election or did he lose? And he was immediately like, look, y'all keep bringing up old stuff. I'm focusing on the future. And then Walz like, see, you didn't answer the question.
He said that is a damning non-answer. And for me, that was the best moment, Walz's best moment of the night. Turning to him and asking him that question and then looking directly at the American people and saying, that's a damning non-answer. For me, that was the highlight of the night. But it was definitely much more subdued and congenial. A lot of people were saying that it reminded them of pre-Trump debates. I am hoping that it is a reflection of post-Trump debates, that we get back to some sort of like normalcy and decorum in our politics. There were a lot. It was really congenial. Like there were at least 9 times where they agreed with each other on things, from housing to school shootings, even though Vance's response to how do we keep kids safe was to make windows and stronger and doors lock better, which is like absolute nonsense. It could and I loved Walz's response. And he said, sometimes it's just the guns. It's just the guns. And that's coming from a gun owner. Yes, he has an F rating with the NRA and Vance has an A rating with the NRA. But yeah, I think anybody with any kind of common sense would welcome that F rating with the NRA. But the little things where they tried to get like the little gotcha moment on Walz about Tiananmen Square. Listen, I guarantee you, if you go on a street with a mic and a camera and you ask people what happened in Tiananmen Square in the 80s, they're going to be like, All
right. The difference is what people will say out there is like, he's running for vice president. He should be well-versed in stuff like that and be able to answer better.
Do you remember where you were in 1989?
Do I? Yeah, I mean, we was living in Lynchburg, Virginia. New Edition had come out with Any Heartbreak. Nintendo was popping. I think Super Mario Brothers 3 had come out.
The point is, no one cares. No,
everybody cared when Super Mario Brothers 3 came out. Don't you dare.
No, but whether or not he was there during the Tiananmen Square massacre or just after or just before. Listen.
Yeah, okay.
That's not going to move the needle on anything.
No.
Vance had a real weird answer to the question of reproductive rights, that we just got to build trust back. You've taken away the rights. In what way are you going to build trust back? And I thought that Walz's answer of your reproductive rights being based on geography, if we let the states decide, is ridiculous. So that was a highlight for me. Overall, There was virtually no movement in the polls. It made no difference.
No.
There was some. Walz's favorability rating went up several
Because
points.
he's cool.
Yeah, Vance's is pretty much still the same. Nobody likes him. And and the reason is because he's disgusting. You know, he got called out about when he referred to Trump as the American Hitler. And he said, I was wrong because I believed news story, false news stories about his policies. No, you believed accurate representations of exactly who he and his administration is.
Well,
And
I
you
will say,
actually,
say, in the Hitler comparisons,
mhm.
it's not accurate because he hasn't done the horrible things that Hitler did. Like to
Yes.
compare the two people, like he's horrible,
Yes.
and but he's nowhere near as bad as Hitler. Where the comparison is fair is his rise in the Republican Party, how he got there, parallels
it's
how Hitler rose in the Nazi Party.
the use of the media and propaganda. It's an exact parallel. So
and the people that were running the Republican Party thinking that they could control Trump and use him because of his popularity, specifically with working class people in the Republican Party, right? Which was what Hitler did. Hitler appealed to the working class people and gained popularity. So the Nazis were like, well, let's just let him be the front man. And we'll control everything behind, much like Republicans tried to do. And what happened was Hitler rose and became so powerful that those people that thought they could control him couldn't.
Yes.
Similar situation in the Republican Party, because if you look at it, people like Liz Cheney, has been pushed out of the Republican Party. She is campaigning with Madam Vice President Harris.
Yeah.
So that's that. So those are the parallels. But when we say like he's Hitler, like we can't, Hitler is one of the worst people in the history of the world.
Yes.
So he's not.
That's not up for debate.
Yeah. That's not a fair comparison. What is a fair comparison?
He has his own wing in hell.
Yeah.
Like there's
What is a fair comparison is the rise to power parallels Hitler. And I think people need to say that as opposed to just saying, well, he's Hitler. I'm like, no. Hitler is Hitler. And there's no
other. Yeah.
Well, there are other people in history that are like Hitler.
Oh, for sure.
But
Trump
on
the
is
scale.
not, Trump is not in that.
Yeah.
And I was talking to another one of my Republican friends, and I'm
got too many of those.
Let me rephrase that because I caught myself as I was saying it.
Yeah.
Associate, not my friend. They think they're my friend. They're not my friend.
Okay. Well, they know that now.
Well, they probably don't even watch the show because most of the stuff that we talk about, they just don't agree with.
Yeah.
And this was an argument that we were about to get into, and they realized, no, I'm just not going to go get into this with him.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about what you were saying, how, Walz and Vance were really congenial. Is that did I say it right? Did I say it right? Woo! Yo, I'm telling you, I might be mumble mouth when I'm reading my notes, but I just said 2 words today: Neanderthal and
congenial.
Well, I almost messed it up just now.
You almost did. But that's all right.
Did. That's all right though. And they were saying, it was respectful, and very much what you were making a point of is like a lot of people were saying, like, well, this is the decorum of which that we need to have, and not the viciousness of the presidential debate. And I said, well, the viciousness is only come from one side. Well, that's what she responded. Like, well, I was like, hold on, stop. The decorum has gone down because of one person. One person has attacked, said nasty stuff about other people. Now, are you telling me that if a person stands up for themselves when they're being attacked, that somehow that they're included in that nasty dialogue going back and forth? I kind of agree with you, but not completely. I was like, what the F do you not completely agree with? If somebody is calling you out your name, you are well within your rights to confront that. Who is going to be called out their name and not confront it? I'll tell you who that person is. that's a person that I don't want to be president, because if you can't stand up to a bully like that, then how are you going to stand up to these foreign nations? So if you getting called out your name, people out there in the world listening right now, because we're all over the world, people in the world listening right now, if you get called out your name by anybody, you are well within your rights to confront that.
Yes.
Don't walk away from that turn the other cheek.
Sometimes walk away from that. Sometimes keeping it real goes real wrong.
But yeah, well, okay, every situation, you got to judge every situation.
Yeah, just on its merits.
If Mike Tyson walked up to me and called me out my name, I'm probably going to let that ride. Yeah. But if Mike Tyson walked up to me and mama and called her out her name, I got to fight him.
Yeah.
That's just what the rules are. You can call me out my name, I'm going to back down from Mike Tyson. You call my mama out her name, I got to fight Mike Tyson. Those are the rules. If he called you out your name, I don't know, that's a crapshoot. You might have to just eat that.
Yeah.
I mean, if me and you are around and Mike called you out your name, I'm like, Mike.
I'll be like, hey, I mean, he might not be wrong. And
you called him stupid because he asked you to get a copy of the Polaroid.
I didn't say it to his face.
No, you were so annoyed because so many people had asked you the question.
I rolled my eyes slightly.
Knocked him in the back of your head. All right, there were some other false claims that had to be fact-checked later on. The fact-checking response to the vice presidential debate between J.D. Vance and Tim Walz highlighted a number of inaccuracies from actually both candidates, which became a central talking point after the event. One key focus was on immigration, where Vance claimed that 320,000 children had been lost by the Department of Homeland Security and were subject to sex trafficking. Now, can this happen? Yes. But this was fact-checked as mostly false, with the accurate figure referring to children who had not appeared for immigration court hearings or received necessary documentation, not that they were lost or trafficked, as Vance suggested. Right. On abortion, as you brought up earlier, Jay, Vance made a claim regarding Minnesota law, saying that doctors were not required to provide life-saving care to babies who survived a late-term pregnancy. Late-term abortion, this was also debunked, as the Minnesota law does provide protections for infants born alive, and such situations are exceedingly rare, occurring in less than 1% of abortions. Another moment under scrutiny involved Vance's assertion that Iran received over $1 billion in unfrozen assets, which was tied to the recent Israel-Hamas conflict. Fact checkers determined that this was false. As Maury would say, they determined that was a lie, as there has been no evidence that such amount of assets were unfrozen under the Biden administration. So that was the reason why we needed the moderators to be fact-checking, because he's telling lies on national TV, and there's people out there that, well, I don't know if they're not smart enough, don't have the forewithal to...
Wherewithal.
Yeah, well, knew I was going to mess up one of these words. Wherewithal. Right. I don't even know what word I was trying to say with forewithal. I don't know where I was going. It was wherewithal, but I don't know why I put for in front of there. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm struggling today, but hopefully you're still enjoying the show. Anyway, you better have the wherewithal to do the research, or whatever, to fact check it, and you're just thinking, because some people are the nicest way that I can say it, naive enough to believe that politicians are always going to tell you the truth, and that's right. There are some that are blatantly lying to you to affect the election. Yeah. So 100%. You got any parting thoughts on this VP debate?
Yeah, ultimately it didn't matter.
No, it didn't matter.
I just thought, it was boring. But that's good. But that's good. Like in a way, like that's good, because it's like, okay, it was a normal debate. That's how it felt, and then we hadn't seen one of those in a while, where there was just no, backbiting and people trying to get zingers and one-liners and all kind of thing. Like it was not substantive on Vance's part, but it was just a normal debate, not people just screaming at each other. So I good. Boring is good. I appreciate that.
All right, since I sent you something literally this morning before we started filming the show.
Yeah.
And her name on social media is Maria Bones. She can be found at Maria Ferrar Curves.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, Ferrar, I guess that's Maria at Maria Ferrar Curves.
Yeah.
And her videos are funny because it's oftentimes her son playing music of today.
Mm-hmm.
And she is like, oh yeah, I like this song. Not realizing that it's not the songs that remind her of the 90s, that they're today. And she's like, we're going to play the original. And I thought this was interesting because music through the generations, especially for us growing up, I'll never forget. I will never forget that we were all 5 of us was in the car. Me, you, mom, dad, and our brother were in the car, and I was playing Play No Games.
I will never forget this either. Go ahead.
I was playing the song Play No Games by Fat Joe.
Yes.
And dad yelled out, that ain't nothing but some dookie stick. And me, you, and our brother started dying laughing.
Yes.
And we was like, what? What is dookie stick?
Bootsy Collins.
Yes.
There's a song called Dookie Stick. And that is a No Game sample Dookie Stick. Yes. And the thing that I loved about her video, it's true. Like, I'll turn on the radio on the rare occasions that I turn on the radio and I hear a song and I'm like, oh, my jam. And then it turns out to be a sample. And I'm like, I get how our parents felt. Because hearing something come on the radio and then be like, that's a Steely Dan. Or that's just Bootsy Collins. Or that's just, and we'd be like, just shut up. Just old ass. And now we're the whole asses.
Right. So I remember like all hip hop in the 80s and 90s was basically sampling.
It was sampling.
Weren't making original music. I think the only person that was really making original music as far as production is concerned, maybe Manny Fresh. Maybe, but he was still taking instrumental sounds from other things and creating music, but it wasn't straight sampling. And I remember when Dr. Dre came out with The Chronic, all that was new music to me.
Yes.
But our dad was like, that ain't nothing but some Parliament Funkadelic.
Yeah.
And then he would break out the records and I would say, he was like, listen to this. And I'm like, oh, they really did. They changed a little bit of it. Pretty much just as taking the music.
Is Timberland much of a sampler?
Timberland? Because he don't go by Timberland. You thinking of the Boots. It's spelled the same way, but he go by Timberland.
It's Timberland.
No, he go by Timberland. That's how he said it. It's Timberland.
Timberland,
you're
whatever.
Thinking of Timberland. They spelled the same, but we always got to put a little something extra on everything.
No, he uses an A.
No, he doesn't. There's no A in his name, except for the land part.
Yeah, it's Timbaland. It's Google it. It's Timbaland. Timbaland. I knew I did it. I know I said it right. I know a damn Timothy Zachary Mosley, aka Timbaland.
Anyway, does he use samples? Yeah, he uses samples. Like all producers use samples.
But he does. I'm just seeing plagiarism accusations. Okay, well,
real time check. The basic point is that music is constantly being evolved from old stuff. But it's funny, the music of our time, we always feel is the best of the original. There are other people that do this type of skits on Instagram with kids. Or just with themselves where they're listening to the radio and then a song comes on and like, that's not the song that I was thinking it was going to be. You're getting ready for a full jam session. You're like, that's it. That was my song. And you realize that ain't it.
That ain't it. And when the way it hurts your feelings, it humbles you a little bit. Because you were like, oh, this is about to be my and then it's something else. It's some kid mumble rapping.
But sometimes them songs be hot though. Like the songs the kid was playing in the video, I'm trying to find them because them songs is kind of hot. If a beat was hot back in the day, it's gonna continuously be hot.
Yes.
Can't Touch This was Super Freak.
Yeah.
Right? Like Super Freak by Rick James was You Can't Touch This. So they were both hits.
here's the thing about music. There are no new chords, right?
Okay, I don't know much about music.
There are no new chords. Like so when you put a group of chords together to create a song, that combination of chords exists someplace else in some other song. Like there's no new chords out there. So eventually music is going to overlap onto itself. You're going to have the instances. Who got in trouble with that? Oh my God. Robin Thicke.
Robin Thicke got in trouble?
Blurred Lines. It was.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He did.
It was very, very close to a Marvin Gaye song because whether or not they actually sample, I think they lost that case, but whether or not they actually intended to sample or the fact that there's just no new chords and so eventually it's going to overlap on itself. So music keeps going through these iterations throughout the decades and it's just taking old stuff and making it new, and we gotta respect it, a certain extent. But yeah, it humbles you a little bit when you think No Games is coming on or something like that. A whole jam from the 90s, and you think some Tupac, Machiavelli is coming on, and it's not.
Right.
It's not that, and you're like, oh.
But
I forgot I'm not cool no more.
But we didn't really get into that scene when Dad yelled out, "That ain't nothing but some dookie stick," and how we were howling with laughter.
Because it came from nowhere.
Right?
Yeah, it came from nowhere. And it was such a ridiculous name for a song.
Right.
Yeah, of course we're going to laugh at it.
No,
but it's actually a great song if you ever get a chance to listen to it.
I mean, it's Bootsy Collins. Bootsy don't miss. Yeah, Bootsy don't miss. Okay, let me ask you a question. Is there a song that was redone or sampled that it starts the same and that new song is just as dope as the old song for you?
Yes. So there are a lot of people who do samples. There's an album called AJA by a group called Steely Dan. And they were very popular in the 70s. And a lot of songs were sampled from that album. And one of my favorites, I'm trying to find it. Let's see. Okay, so a song called Black Cow. I don't know if you remember Lord Tariq and Peter Gunn's Uptown Baby.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. That is
okay. We can't do it too much because you can't do it too much because YouTube
right.
will,
but
block
that's one. Let's see. There's a bunch. Hold on.
Well, okay. So for me, one of the songs that I was like, the sample and the new song is almost as dope as the original is Human Nature and Right There by SWV.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I will listen to that, to both of them. All Human Nature, Baby Be Mine is my favorite song on Thriller, but Human Nature is my second favorite song.
Really? That's your favorite song on Thriller?
Yeah, no, Lady of My Life, excuse me. Lady of My Life is
not Baby.
Excuse me. I misspoke.
First of all, what is Baby Be Mine?
First of all, that's not a song on the Thriller album.
Not. That's why I was like, what?
Not get too much sleep last night, because what the hell is going on? This is just my first drink. I'm acting like I'm drunk. Maybe I'm still drunk from yesterday.
You lucky.
It might be. But no, Lady of My Life is my favorite song. Human Nature is my second favorite. But when SWV did Right There and they used it, that sample, Human Nature, I was like, yo, this is dope. This is dope. Yeah. Also, Let Me Ride from Dr. Dre's The Chronic album. And I can't remember the name, but Parliaments and Funkadelics, the sample that came from, it might be Let Me Ride. They might have just used the same name. But those are basically the Chronic album, because they sampled so much of Parliament Funkadelic. Parliament is dope. That Chronic album is dope. So those are situations where I'm like, okay, this works. And even our father, who was a fan of Parliament Funkadelic, loved the Chronic album.
Yeah. And I hate to bring this person up.
Oh, God, here we go.
I hate to bring this person up.
No, ladies and gentlemen, y'all don't really understand. Well, my sister drops down to that voice tone. She really does not want to do this.
No.
When she does that, it's for real. She really does not want to say what she's about to say. But go
I
ahead and say it.
don't want to. But Kanye West has used sampling to great effect
Oh, yes.
over his career, and really, like we'll take several songs and merge them together, and you won't even know. He just takes a little bit of Nina Simone and a little bit of, I don't know, like people
Ray
you wouldn't
Charles.
even think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, people you wouldn't even think of, songs and things that you wouldn't even think of. I mean, when he did Hard Knock Life, he sampled Annie.
And it's a hit. The whole Blueprint album.
Yeah, sampling
just-
Oliver. Well, I'll do.
Yeah, don't sing because
But
YouTube will block. Yeah,
I only did two words.
I don't be knowing. Okay,
Yeah.
YouTube is weird with this type of stuff.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like, yeah, I hate. Of course, y'all know I hate to bring that man up, but
Well, no, I didn't think that was the man that she was going to bring up, because there's another
Really?
person who samples a lot of great stuff. Because if you listen to Juicy Fruit and then listen
Yes.
to Juicy,
oh yeah, I couldn't bring myself
okay,
to bring up. I couldn't bring myself to bring up Diddy, but
because
yes,
Diddy did a lot of sampling that was
because
hits.
a lot of sampling of Steely Dan. There's a lot of Biggie songs.
Oh,
that
really?
are samples from.
Steely, I might need to listen to this Steely Dan album.
Listen to the Aja album, and as you're going through, you'll hear beats from a lot of your favorite songs.
Was Steely Dan, like, I've heard the name before, but were they like super popular?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, Steely Dan is incredibly popular.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I don't know too much about them, but
Yeah,
I heard the name before. I heard the name.
But yeah, but I think, well, I don't. This isn't a sample. This was just a cover of the song, but I Will Always Love You.
Oh, yeah.
Whitney Houston doing the Dolly Parton cover. I think that's probably the best, but that's a cover, not a sample. But yeah, I agree with you. Human Nature and
SWV.
Yeah.
So going back to that video, the mom is so agitated at her son for listening to the new music that's sampling old music. And I'm going to say, music evolves.
Mhm.
You can enjoy the old, and you can also enjoy this new, because this new stuff is still hot.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I haven't gotten to that age where hip hop, more specifically trap music.
Mhm.
I'm waiting to grow out of trap music.
No, I never grew out of trap music.
I
It's
don't.
part of my soul. It's part of my spirit. It literally speaks to who I am fundamentally as a person. And I could be driving to my 9 to 5 in full work clothes and be like, it doesn't,
Yeah.
I need it. I need
Right.
it.
Look,
Yeah.
when I'm in the car driving, which is almost never, but when I am, or if I'm in the house
Yeah.
and I'm listening to trap music, at that moment, I'm a
Yeah.
drug dealer
Yeah.
and I'm on the run, or I'm making big deals. That's my moment. That's where I'm living there.
I am the streets.
Right. That's what I'm trying to say.
When I'm listening to trap, I am the streets. I am the biggest kingpin. I own this town when I'm listening to trap music. That's who I am. And it gets you hype. It gets you pumped up.
It gets you hyped and pumped up to go work on spreadsheets. Let's do
Yes. Exactly right. I would just like to point out, because you get on me about this all the time.
What's
we
that?
did great on time for the show today.
Yeah, okay, we did. You was late.
Beautifully.
You were late once again.
No. Now I'm talking about the actual recording of it. We don't need to talk about pre-production, okay?
Okay.
We don't need to get into that.
Right.
Yes, am I late? Sometimes. Yes, I got to get a whole setup going.
Right. You act like I don't have to do the same thing. And I'm the one that's doing all the pre-production. All you got to do is hit a button and enjoy the show. What are you talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put y'all behind the scenes.
No,
okay?
don't.
Yes, y'all, no, I'm going to throw you under the bus and put y'all behind the scenes.
Oh, boy.
The day before we filmed the same time every week.
I am still not used to Sundays.
Oh, okay, but even when it was Thursdays, we film the same time every week.
I was on Thursdays.
Girl, hold on. I'm talking about the show. We don't.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm always the one sending the text. Hey, what do you want to talk about?
Yes.
I don't know. Here's some of my, and then I say, well, here's some of my ideas. That's cool. Let me think about something else. And then she never gets back to me.
Because it's usually you're either sending me that I'm at work, or now I'm a full-time student. I'm working on something. I'm doing homework. I'm studying. I'm like, I'll look at it later, and I never get back to it, and that is my bad. I do apologize for that.
But my thought process is you don't ever just be doing stuff and then be like, oh, this would be a good show idea. Like that stuff doesn't pop in your head.
Yes, but then I also think by the time we get to recording, it's gonna be old.
Well, then send it to me, and then I can always come up with a way to still make it fresh. I mean, that's my artistic ability. Is
fresh? Fresh?
Yes, that's my artistic ability to be able to look at. That's the way I create art. You create art where you can sing and you can do instruments and things of that nature. This is how
I put all my business out there.
Well, I mean, you're an artist. Film director and edited and all the stuff. Ladies and gentlemen,
damn,
I be doing the post-production, but my sister is actually the one with the film degree.
I have a certificate.
Well, it's the same as the same. All right, let's go. We were talking about time, and now we're about to go over.
But my point is, I've been watching the clock.
I'm thank you.
I'm trying to do better at watching the clock and not going overtime.
Well, the only time that you really go overtime is when you're super passionate about stuff.
Yes.
And that's kind of my fault. I need to sit back and not interject and just let you go. So I'm not going to let you take the whole blame. Anyway, I don't know if anybody finds this absolutely interesting at all. So on that note, what do you want to lead people out here with?
Hey, we got less than 30 days. If your state if it's still open, make sure that you're registered to vote. You know, they like to purge people from the voter rolls. Take a friend, a family member, somebody you don't even like, I don't care, and make sure that they're registered to vote. And just, we got less than 30 days, y'all. Get activated. We can do this.
And on that note, I want to thank everybody for listening. I want to thank you for watching. And until next time, as always, I'll holla.
Whew. That was a hell of a show. Thank you for rocking with us here on Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. Now, before you go, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, comment, and share our podcast wherever you're listening or watching into it. Pass it along to your friends. If you enjoy it, that means the people that you rock with will enjoy it also. So share the wealth, share the knowledge, share the noise. And for all those people that say, well, I don't have a YouTube. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can actually watch our video podcast. But the real party is on our Patreon page. After Hours Uncensored and Talking Straight-ish. After Hours Uncensored is another show with my sister. And once again, the key word there is uncensored. Those are exclusively on our Patreon page. Jump onto our website at unsolicitedperspectives.com for all things us. That's where you can get all of our audio, video, our blogs, and even buy our merch. And if you're really feeling generous and want to help us out, you can donate on our donations page. Donations go strictly to improving our software and hardware so we can keep giving you guys good content that you can clearly listen to and that you can clearly see. So any donation would be appreciative. Most importantly, I want to say thank you for listening and watching and supporting us. And I'll catch you next time. Audi 5000. Peace. Freedom over fame. Freedom over fame. The cycle stays the same.